Well, hello there, and welcome back to the temporary home of Richard's Toy Room. Today we're going to be doing a restoration and repair of this 1970s era AM radio phonograph. This is, I guess you could consider this more of a kiddie player. And I would like to apologize up front. You may hear the air conditioner go on and off during this, and hopefully it won't drown me out. I don't think it will, but in case you hear a weird noise, you'll know what that is. Anyway, this has I want to call it cardboard, but it's not really cardboard. It's like I don't know what they call this stuff, but it's like a really firm, like chipboard or something. It's got two metal latches, and it also has a carry handle on this end so you can carry it around. The lid does not come off. As you can see, the power cord is inside here, which is a little inconvenient in my opinion, but there's really no way around that unless I wanted to drill a hole in it. But then again, you'd have nowhere to put the cord. But anyway, for now, we'll just put it out of the way. Unfortunately, I asked the person before I bought this thing if it had the adapter, because it wasn't shown in the listing on Craigslist. He goes, "Oh yeah, I have the adapter." When I got there, I didn't see it. He said, "There you go, there's the adapter." Well, that's not what I wanted, but it cost me almost nothing, so I wasn't going to make a big fuss about it. It looked like something that might be fun. But anyway, so I have worked on it a little bit. By the way, the brand on this is called DeJay, D-E-J-A-Y, and it is a model SP26. It's got a plastic lightweight tone arm here. Now I have done a little bit to this already. I already went through the turntable and greased it up, and so it spins and everything, and they, cleaned all the mechanism up in there in the idler wheel. Now when I did get it, the power switch did not work. It would not turn on. And what I found was I took it off of the chassis and took it completely apart, and it's cheap. There was like a plastic sort of like a spacer in there that's attached to the knob, and it was broken, so it wasn't turning the switch internally. So I used some epoxy, and I basically rebuilt that. It was broken into three little pieces, and I'll plug this in so you can see. I would be careful with it. Don't go cranking on it, but I think if you're gentle with it, you can hear it clicked on. It's solid state, there's no tubes. Oh, wait a minute. It'd help if I had the power on.
Privilege means those. Appreciate your prayers and support. I need to go for the day. Till next time, God bless you abundantly.
Thank you for listening to the Truth Light Life broadcast with Pastor Daniel Rhodes.
Now, as you can see, it actually doesn't work too bad. Obviously, the tone switch needs some cleaning. It has a little bit of crackly, and we'll clean that up with some deoxit. Not right now, but I'm going to show you. This is the greatest stuff to use for that, deoxit. So we have some of that. As far as the radio, everything worked great on the radio, except for, like I said, it needs some, the switches need some cleaning here. and or maybe the volume switch. I can't remember if I cleaned that or not. It seems like it's okay, but I might shoot another little bit of deoxit in there. I didn't want to do it when I had already freshly glued it because I was afraid it might hamper the epoxy, but now that it's been in there for a while, I think it'd be okay to spray a little bit in there just to clean those contacts up a little bit more. But anyway, this one definitely needs some deoxit. But then I got to the record player. There's a little switch here to switch it from radio to phonograph. And what happened was, I'll show you that it actually, I'll put the record on here so it's easier to see. It's in neutral, which you always leave your turntables in neutral if they have a neutral switch, because you will put a flat spot on the idler wheel. So there's 78 RPM, 45, and 33. So, like I said, I already serviced the turntable here, and neutral. So anyway, I wasn't getting any sound out of it, so I checked, and I'll show you here. As you can see, the wiring's all good. The problem is it's got a crystal cartridge in it, and it's dead. They don't make them anymore, and even ones that you can find, I don't know if I trust them because they're not new. They're probably old stock, and they probably, good chance they wouldn't work either. And not only that, they're outrageously expensive. I think the cheapest one I found was like $60-something, and there is no way in hell I'm putting that much money into this $10 player. So anyway, so what I thought after a little bit of research, I found that if you order right from China on eBay, you can get these. I'm assuming these are the same cartridges that are in the Crosley players. It has a replaceable needle. The only thing is it's stereo, and I have to tie these two pins for the right and left together in order for it to work. So what I did was I temporarily hooked them up to the wires here, and it does work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cartridge, it comes apart, and I'm going to take the top part of this cartridge, which it snaps into the tone arm like that. So what I will do is I will take this, and I'll just use like a blob of hot glue or something, probably, and I will glue it into the top of this cartridge here. Should be enough that if I ever for some reason had to replace it, which wouldn't only be necessary if the cartridge went bad, which is unlikely. All I'd have to do is break it free from the glue and just glue a new one in there. But either way, I mean, it's not like I'm going to play it that much anyway, and the needle is easily replaceable. But the best part is these cartridges, I paid $1.72. That was with shipping, no tax, from China. I don't think you can beat that, and it works. Now you do have a little bit of lower volume because the output of this is not 3 volts like the old one is, the old Crystal. I forget what this one is. I think it might be 0.5 volt or 1 volt. But you know, it's only got this tiny itty bitty little speaker in here anyway, and it's not like I'm going to be out playing it as concerts or whatever. It's just more of a novelty thing. I just wanted to make it actually work. So that was just the whole point of it. Perhaps I might, if I can get another one of these cartridges, I might try my hand at taking this one apart and trying to replace the crystal with the ceramic cartridge in here so it looks more original, but you're still going to end up with the same thing. I don't think it's worth putting like a preamp or anything like that into it. But anyway, so the only thing I really have left to do on it is I bought these electrolytic capacitors. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in this whole unit. So I'm going to replace those, since the thing's probably over 40 years old now. And that should be about all it needs. I'll check the how much the tone arm weighs and see what the tracking is on it. I mean, this cartridges don't seem to be too much difference in weight by feel, so I can't imagine I'd have to add any to it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe I might have to add a washer or something underneath there. There's plenty of room to put stuff under here. So if I had to have a little weight to it, that's fine. But it'll just be a little novelty thing to play around with, just to have. I mostly bought it because I like the graphics up here. It has that kind of disco era that they used this, I don't know what they call that, but it reminds me of the 30s, kind of Art Deco-y font on these things. So anyway, basically this is pretty simple. It's got, I think it was 3 screws. There's one on each side here. Put this in here temporarily because it's a little easier. One here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's one on the back. Yeah. Like I said, I've had this apart once before, just to see if it was actually even fixable or worth fixing. Ain't much to it, as you can see. There we go. We don't need that anymore. We'll move that out of the way. Kind of reminds me of a gift box from a department store from the 70s. That design on the cover there. So anyway, if you look under here, there it is. That's all there is to it. So we got, here's the biggest one here, and then there's a few other capacitors. So I need to get this circuit board out of here so I can fiddle with it, and the amount of time it takes me to finish that and figure out how I'm going to install this. I need to tie the pins together. So after I do all that, it'll be ready to go. So I'm not going to show you me putting these capacitors in. That's kind of boring. So I will be back after I finish that. Okay, been a little while. Here's the caps that I replaced. You can see those. There's just 5 of them. Not a very big system there. And see, this front part came off, and I had to take these little transformer and the switch off to make it a little easier to access. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are the caps that are replaced. on this little circuit board. I cleaned up the switches with the deoxit, so they're ready to go. And I also, hopefully I didn't ruin this, because it's very easy to destroy these from what I hear. With, let's see if, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I bridged, this is a stereo cartridge and this is a mono player, so you have to bridge the pins for the negative and the positive, and hopefully I'll be able to hook up the original wires to one for the negative and one for the positive. I think they'll still fit on these two pins right here, and if I didn't overheat this cartridge, it should work. So I'm going to it's a little tedious to get this back in because the screws are kind of hard to get to, so I'm going to turn the camera off once again, and I will get this all back together up to the point where I'm going to put the cartridge in, and then I will come back and show you that part. Okay, we're back. The entire player's together. You can't see it, it's out of camera range. I did check it, works perfectly. I did plug in the new cartridge just to make sure that I didn't destroy it, and we definitely got some activity from the needle, so I think we're good to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this original cartridge and we're going to dig that rivet out of there so I can separate these two halves, and then I'm going to use the top half of this that snaps into the tone arm to just do a little blob of this here hot glue, just enough to keep it in place there. I think that should be quite sufficient. And if it doesn't quite sit straight, I've got some foam here that's about 1/4 inch thick or so, and I'll just stick a piece of that in there because there is a little hump on the top of this, so I'm thinking it might fit a little cockeyed, so that's not a big deal. I can't see with my glasses on for this because all my stuff is in storage, so I have a lighted magnifying kit with little alligator clips, but everything is in storage. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think this is going to take me a few minutes. I'm going to pause the camera and I will come back when I have it apart and I'll show you.